The Central Bureau of Investigation has now registered an FIR in the Sushant Singh Rajput's death case. India Today has accessed a copy of the CBI FIR. In fact, Rhea Chakraborty, her brother Shouvik and their parents have now been charged with abatement of suicide, wrongful restraint and confinement, theft, breach of trust and criminal intimidation. The FIR also names Sushant's house manager Samuel Miranda and Rhea's manager Shruti Modi. Meanwhile, in a statement, Rhea Chakraborty's counsel called the CBI probe illegal. He said that only the case in Bihar has been handed over to the CBI and a plea on a case filed by Bihar police is pending before the Supreme Court. He also added that unless Maharashtra government consents CBI probe, the investigation would be illegal. CBI took over the probe in the case on request of the Bihar government and after a notification from the centre. The complaint was filed by Sushant's father, KK Singh. CBI took over the probe on 5th of August after a face-off between Bihar and the Mumbai police. Now, all eyes on Rhea Chakraborty as Sushant Singh Rajput's girlfriend has been summoned to appear before the Enforcement Directorate today. Rhea, who's been booked for money laundering, has been accused of stealing 15 crore rupees from the late actor's account. The ED summons have come at a time when the probe agency accessed Rhea's income tax return file that she had, which shows that she had purchased 2 properties in Mumbai, which was of high value. However, Rhea issued a clarification before the Enforcement Directorate claiming that she had taken 60 lakh rupees loan to buy a 550 square feet flat, which actually cost 85 lakh rupees. The second flat was registered in the name of her father, Indrajit Chakraborty. The 1,100 square feet flat was bought at a cost of 60 lakh rupees. In fact, Sushant's ex-business manager, Shruti Modi, has also been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate now. Now, the Enforcement Directorate has intensified probe into Sushant Singh Rajput's case. The income tax records now accessed by the probe agency show that Rhea has purchased property in Mumbai, a charge clarified by the actor herself. Meanwhile, the CBI will also be probing abatement to suicide charge. Here are details of this report.
The CBI will now investigate the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. With the ED stepping in, Rhea Chakraborty will be the focal point of interrogation by investigative agencies.
When a state gives consent to the CBI to investigate a particular matter, then the CBI does not need consent from all the states where the CBI will investigate that particular crime. So only consent is required in one state. We will get a formal order from the Supreme Court also, so that Mumbai police has no justification to in any manner try to sort of obstruct the probe by the CBI.
What would be the basis on which CBI and the ED will conduct its investigation? With ED investigating the financial angle on charges made by the family that Rhea siphoned off money from Sushant's accounts. The Enforcement Directorate is now probing the income tax returns of the late actor's girlfriend. Sushant's house manager Samuel Miranda was probed by the ED on Thursday. As per ED sources, Rhea's net worth rose to just 14 lakhs from 10 to 12 lakhs since last year. But what is of interest is that despite the meager net worth, Rhea bought 2 properties in Mumbai worth crores. One property has been bought in the name of Rhea and the other is in the name of a family member, her father. It is, however, unclear who paid for these properties, and the ED has asked for property papers. The ED is probing a flat in Mumbai's Khar East, which has been registered in Rhea's name. The probe agency will also probe another flat in Navi Mumbai's Ulve, which was registered in the name of Rhea's father. Rhea Chakraborty has now hit back with an explanation on both these flats. The value of the Khar property in her name, 85 lakhs. There is still a housing loan pending on it, which is 60 lakhs. The builder name is Shivalik. The area of the flat is 550 square foot in Khar East, near Khar Subway. The other property claimed by ED is in her father's name, a retired defense officer. The year of purchase of that flat is 2012, years before Sushant and Rhea started dating. Possession was in 2016. The value of property 60 lakhs. The area 1,130 square foot. Location Ulve, Raigad district. Along with the financial charge, the CBI will also investigate the abetment to suicide charge. With multiple charges already made, the family of Sushant has made fresh allegations. In November, Sushant calls all his 3 sisters to Mumbai. Sushant, along with his sisters, has a flight booked back to Chandigarh. Riya coerced Sushant to not go. In January, Sushant again reached out to his sisters. He drove down from Mumbai to Chandigarh, stayed with his sister Rani from 20th to 24th January. Riya called Sushant 25 times from 20th to 24th January. Sushant goes back to Mumbai. From 8th to 14th June, Riya blocks Sushant's phone. 8th June, Disha Salyan commits suicide. 14th June, Sushant is found dead. The family has raised the question, if Riya called him 25 times in 4 days in January, then why did she block him for 7 days from 8th to 14th June, especially if she knew he was depressed? However, there is also a gap of 6 months between that. What went down between the two? Only the two know. One is dead, and even if you don't want to believe the other, does it mean abetment? Till then, all we can hope for is a fair probe by the CBI, and also hope Sushant Singh Rajput can finally rest in peace. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, we are looking at the case getting murkier. There are several stakeholders in the case who've been giving out their statements, all of them close to Sushant, many of them who were there present at Sushant's house while he committed suicide on the 14th of June. Now, what is the status of the investigation, and who are those people who are currently involved close to Sushant who've been giving out their statements? Let's take a quick look at the first person here, very crucial in this investigation, is Siddharth Pithani. Siddharth Pithani was in fact a very close friend of Sushant, who was in fact living with Sushant at his house. In fact, we understand that Siddharth was Sushant's closest friend and had met the actor the night before the death. Pithani has revealed that Sushant was not in touch with his family members for quite a while before he passed away. Now, there's another person called Neeraj, who is the cook who worked for Sushant since May 2019. He was also present when they found Sushant's body. In fact, this man here claimed that Sushant was unwell at the time of his death. This is his categoric statement. Then you have Samuel Miranda, the third person who's quite crucial here, who's a house manager appointed by Riya. Samuel Miranda also has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate now. He's being probed to see if there has been any money mismanagement that's taken place under his no. Then you have, of course, Riya Chakravarti, Sushant's girlfriend, who's also now been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. In fact, she's been accused of abatement to suicide. There are several allegations that have been leveled against her by Sushant Singh Rajput's family. Now the ED is investigating for money laundering, as well as the CBI looking at abatement to suicide. Now, as cops and investigative agencies widen the probe in Sushant Singh Rajput's death case, Disha Salyan's death mystery is only getting murkier. Actor Suraj Pancholi, who has been accused of having links with Disha Salyan and hosting a party at the night of Sushant's former manager's death, has now spoken out. Here is Disha Salyan, Suraj Pancholi's party truth revealed by Suraj Pancholi himself.
6 days, 2 deaths. One raging mystery. Speculation is swirling around there being a connection between the deaths of Sushant Singh Rajput and his ex-manager Disha Salyan. At the center of this death mystery is actor Suraj Pancholi and a conspiracy theory. Going viral on social media and WhatsApp groups is about a party on the night of 8th of June. This morphed image of Suraj Pancholi with Disha Salyan is being shared to fuel the story about the party. The party theory was fanned by BJP leader Narayan Rane, who claimed that actor Suraj Pancholi hosted a party at his residence on the night Disha Salyan died. He also alleges that the party was attended by a Maharashtra minister and other top Bollywood celebrities. It is alleged that it was at this party that Disha Salian was raped and murdered.
ऐसा जवान लड़की लोग को लेके जाके पार्टी में उसको मारना और बलात्कार करके एडमिट करना, मगर ये छुपा नहीं सकते। महाराष्ट्र सरकार जो आज है वो गुनहगार को प्रोटेक्शन दे रहे हैं, बचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
Now, the man at the center of the storm, Suraj Pancholi, has broken his silence on India Today. He says there was no party at his house on 8th of June.
हाँ, मेरे घर में कभी कोई पार्टी हुई थी। ठीक है, एक मैसेज है व्हाट्सएप पे, हर जगह गया है। मुझे मेरे दोस्तों ने दुबई से, लंदन से, हैदराबाद से भेजा है कि सूरज के घर पे पार्टी हुई थी, सूरज के पेंट हाउस में पार्टी हुई थी, जहाँ पे सूरज ने सुशांत, दिशा, आदित्य ये सबको बुलाया था। विद आदित्य आई मीन आदित्य ठाकरे। सबसे पहले बात, मेरे पास पेंट हाउस है नहीं। आई लिव ऑन अ फर्स्ट फ्लोर इन वर्सोवा।
In fact, Suraj Pancholi claims that he never knew Disha Salian.
मैं जानता ही नहीं हूँ या जानता ही नहीं था कि दिशा सालियान कौन है। May her soul rest in peace. May her family rest in, I mean, have some peace right now. I have nothing to do. मेरा कुछ लेना देना नहीं है दिशा के साथ।
Questions, though, still surround Disha Salian's death. Disha, who allegedly managed a few projects for Sushant Singh Rajput, fell from a 14th-floor apartment in Malad, Mumbai, at around 3 a.m. on 9th of June. Her autopsy report, accessed by India Today, shows that Disha died of unnatural injuries. Her post-mortem noted that the primary cause of death was the injuries she sustained in the plunge. But why was her post-mortem done 2 days after she died? Did her death affect Sushant Singh Rajput? And most importantly, is there a link between the two deaths? Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, the Kerala gold scam accused Swapna Suresh has made an explosive claim during interrogation by the NIA. Swapna has claimed that she knew Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan while working with the UAE Consul General and would relay information during iftar meetings. Swapna claimed that Vijayan's former principal secretary, Shiv Shankar, was like a mentor to her. In fact, the Kerala scam accused lawyer produced her wedding photo in which she was shown wearing 5 kgs gold. Meanwhile, opposition Congress has been targeting Vijayan, demanding his resignation besides pressing for a CBI probe there.
I have full trust in our national agencies, our state agencies. They are investigating the matter. I think we should not be impatient. We should wait for their final conclusions.
Now, we are looking at some explosive claims made by Swapna Suresh, but let's quickly cut across to what's happening with the Ministry of Defence here in India. The Ministry of Defence has officially acknowledged that Chinese soldiers intruded in eastern Ladakh in May. However, the report was soon removed from the Ministry of Defence website, leading to speculations. Rahul Gandhi has meanwhile hit out at the centre. Here's what really transpired.
93 days since the standoff began, after the government continuously dismissed allegations of incursions by China in Ladakh, the Ministry of Defence under Rajnath Singh has gone on record admitting the truth. The Defence Ministry uploaded a note on its website talking about the prolonged standoff and describing the Chinese aggression as transgressions for the very first time. That's right. The very first time that the government has practically admitted that this isn't just aggression but actual transgression. The note mentions the transgressions in detail and even notes the locations, concluding that the standoff will take a while to dial down. Making the admission more glaring, the note was yanked down from the MOD website just minutes after it came to light in the media. But by then it was too late. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, who has led a serial video attack on the China issue, latched onto media reports, asking in a tweet, why is the PM lying?
जो हमारे डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री ने आज भी जो विड्रॉ करा है लिखने के बाद में, उसके अंदर भी उन्होंने ये कहा है कि द प्रेजेंट स्टैंड ऑफ इज लाइकली टू बी प्रोलॉन्ग। तो कितना प्रोलॉन्ग होगा, क्या इसका रास्ता है, क्या इसके लिए आगे की तैयारी है?
Amidst all the friction, the disengagement seems to be fully stalled, as first reported last week by India Today. After refusing to even acknowledge Pangong Tso as a friction point, China's ultimatum that any pullback must be matched by an Indian pullback on its own soil has made the situation even worse than before, with India fully standing its ground.
If due to any reason China is unable to pull back, whether it is to assuage the pain of the Galwan incident to the PLA, or is it to show some face to its own citizens, they are more than welcome to stick to their guns, and we'll stick to our guns for the time being. And when it becomes untenable for them, we should be ready to occupy the places which we seek.
In the initial phase of disengagement at Pangong Lake, the Chinese moved back from Finger 4 to Finger 5, but continued with its deployment on the ridgeline. India too pulled back from Finger 4, where troops from both sides had been in an eyeball-to-eyeball situation. Between Finger 5 and Finger 8, China strengthened its positions, brought in more boats and set up huts for the winter. Even after that fifth round of talks, the disengagement between both sides is woefully incomplete.
Sources say there is no question of India diluting its stand by moving back in the Pangong Lake, as this will amount to alteration of status quo, something that India does not want. In fact, it's very clear now that China is being rigid and has put these conditions to ensure that the standoff continues. In wake of this, there have been several meetings in the security establishment to decide what the future strategy will be. Abhishek Bhalla in New Delhi for India Today.
Moving over to Mumbai, some respite for Mumbaikars there as water clogging recedes in most parts of the city. Light drizzle was reported. Met Department has predicted moderate there to heavy rainfall for the day. In fact, Mumbaikars just yesterday woke up to light showers but witnessed massive mayhem caused by incessant rainfall through the day on Wednesday. The BMC has said that only some areas of South Mumbai were left inundated, while in most other parts of the city and suburbs, rainwater had receded. This comes even as the maximum city recorded 331.8 mm rainfall on Thursday. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Cabinet Minister Aditya Thackeray reviewed the destruction caused by heavy rains. Aditya Thackeray took to Twitter to share pictures of the rain fury. India Today Group Vice Chairperson Kali Puri has been conferred the prestigious Impact Most Influential Woman Award for 2020. The award by Exchange for Media honors 49 other trailblazing women achievers from media, marketing and advertising fields who immensely have contributed and inspired through their leadership.
At number 1 on the list, Kali Puri.
India Today Group Vice Chairperson Kali Puri has been conferred the prestigious Impact Most Influential Woman Award for 2020. The award by Exchange for Media honors 49 other trailblazing women achievers from media, marketing and advertising fields who immensely contribute and inspire through their leadership.
This is my 7th year on the...
This is the 9th edition of the award, and Kali has figured in the prestigious list 6 times.
So thank you very much.
The India Today Group has made unprecedented strides under Kali's leadership, carving out pride of place in the industry, said the jury chair.
Kali Puri.
The award assumes special significance coming during the COVID pandemic.
I would like to thank Exchange for Media for awarding me the Most Influential Woman of the Year. This award will always be very special to me, coming in the time of Corona that has tested every imaginable aspect of my leadership and character. Because the award is for influence, I would like to dedicate this award to my team that produces the gold standard of journalism that gives the group and me this power. I am so deeply grateful to all of you.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.